Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I just got back home, or last night actually, but today I'm recording the first video. This should probably go up Thursday, which is the second day I'm back home. But I just got off work just now, and with that in mind, this is the first time I've worked since I've been in college, and it's a different feeling. I don't know. There's aspects of it that I don't like. There's aspects of it that I like. Relating to that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the virtue of productivity and why that is such an important thing to have in life, productivity, and why it's such a virtue and why it ultimately leads to happiness. One aspect of happiness that I find happiness in life that I find to be really important is just having a purpose. For me, I kind of talk about two major things that you do in life that ultimately makes you happy. One would be love, the other would be purpose. Productivity is very, very much related to purpose. Purpose being different things like finding a career, hobbies, doing things. That's what productivity ultimately means for me in my life, just finding something to do constantly. I think just being productive, creating something, is something that makes life go by a lot happier. It makes you feel like you're doing something. You have some sort of purpose with your life, and that is extremely important. And it's really important to be productive too, so that you can take pride in what you're doing, so that you're not just doing like stupid little tasks that you feel ultimately have no worth and mean nothing. Or you're not doing your job well, so you can't feel good about it. So then ultimately that type of productivity that you can't feel good about doesn't lead to pride in the same way that productivity, when you're actually doing a good job and doing something you feel it is creating something important or worthwhile. It's not the same. It's not the same amount of pride because, if you're not doing a good job, why the fuck would you take pride in that? Anyways, productivity is very important for me. When I do a job, I want to always be doing something at that job. That's why the current job that I have is something that I like a lot more than a lot of my other jobs. My very first job was as a lifeguard, and that was really fucking boring because I was just sitting there watching kids swim constantly, and it was really boring because I wasn't doing anything all day, and it just sucked. It felt like I was wasting my time, and I got really bored. My second job was at a grocery store. I would just walk down the aisles, up and down, looking at the shelves, trying to face stuff, or stocking shelves, or cleaning bathrooms, and it was a little better because I was doing stuff, but it was still very boring because I would just often be wasting time half the time I was there. Now, my new job is also at a grocery store, but it's in a kitchen. There I'm constantly making food, cleaning stuff, setting stuff up. That's a lot better. It's not perfect. There's still a lot of time where there's nothing to do, so I kind of just have to watch the counter, which is really, really boring, and I don't feel like I'm being productive. But there's usually an opportunity for me to do something constantly, which helps the time pass by fast, and it ultimately makes me feel better about my job. I like doing things. I like making things. I like moving things around. I like cooking things. I like producing things. That's something that I really enjoy, and I think ultimately a lot of people should enjoy that thing because, it's either that or you're just sitting around living a boring existence, just drifting by, and you can't really live that type of existence without some sort of evasion, without turning off your mind. And that has to be intentional at some point, because you can't just completely turn off your mind forever. You have to confront the fact that you need to use your mind to survive. And if you use your mind and focus more, you're not going to be able to live a drifting life where you don't ever focus on anything. That gets boring eventually. And your life ultimately feels like it has no sort of purpose. You're not acting for anything long range. You're not making anything either. For me, I know during the summer sometimes when I had nothing to do, no work, nothing to do, I would just be sitting at home doing nothing. And there was a lot of times where I felt like I was doing absolutely nothing, and I was very sad. And that was actually a general thing throughout the summer. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. So when I got to college, it was actually really nice just to get work to do and things to achieve, things to do, things to produce. And that's human existence. That's where people get purpose from, is just finding stuff to do, finding long range things to do, which is ultimately what's going to be most fulfilling, because that is what brings you long-term happiness and underlying happiness, and brings you a lot more pride than just little short-term sort of things. But those short-term things are very important too. They help you feel like just organizing your room. That makes you feel so much happier. Like you just have things more organized. It looks more aesthetically beautiful. And you feel like you're doing something to make your own life better. And that brings you pride. And you actually are somewhat making your life better. But just in general, doing something is so important. Like it's clear that why one of the characteristics of, well, let me reword this. One of the characteristics of depression is you have no interest in doing anything. And that makes a lot of sense to me, because when I'm the saddest is when I don't feel like I want to do anything, and it's when I am actually not doing anything. So ultimately, productivity is extremely important. You want to be doing stuff. That's a key to living a happy life. Just constantly do stuff. Constantly do things to improve your own life. And just work. That's absolutely key. And find a job that you love too. That's definitely a really big thing. Find a job where you're doing something. That's big. I can't imagine that a boring job where you just like don't do anything. I can't imagine that that's any fun for anybody, because it just is pointless. There's nothing. You're not doing anything, and there's nothing to take pride in. And pride is very important. I'm actually going to make another video about that really soon. Why pride is such an important virtue. But yeah, that's it for productivity. I think that what I'm going to talk about today. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.